Now, the girl's almost 18 years old, so obviously I can't do anything with her yet. That'd be wrong, okay?
You're caught. You're going to be charged with murder.
Why?
Well, probably because you did.
This is simp of the century, John Villarreal. Mere days ago, John set out on a secret mission to save and woo his 17-year-old internet girlfriend.
I went down there because she said that her stepdad was beat, and I wanted to go find out what was actually happening.
Now that plan has ended with 2 people shot and left for dead on the side of a rural country road. But the more detectives interview this vigilante, the more they witness insane delusions.
That's your safe house?
That's right.
You ain't Jason Bourne.
Yeah,
You ain't got enemies in high places.
And even crazier lies, as Mr. White Knight comes to a startling realization.
I don't like silencers.
You don't.
No.
So the silencer failure put guns in your car.
I'm in a pickle. I'm not going to lie. I am in a world of shit.
On December 23, 2014, in the small town of Travelers Rest, South Carolina, 22-year-old John Jack Villarreal was on a mission. He just received a text from his 17-year-old internet girlfriend, who claimed to be the victim of her stepdad's violence, stating that if Jack could steal a car and drive to Fitzgerald, Georgia to save her, the two could live happily ever after. Jack agreed, and before he went hunting for a car to hotwire, he assembled a small arsenal to save his princess with, including a rifle and 3 pistols. But when his hotwiring skills failed him, he opted for Plan B. He'd hitchhike, kill whoever picked him up, and steal the car. So as he stood in the pouring rain, when best friends James Dobson and Mary Fowler slowed to a stop, little did they know they were picking up a killer. Somewhere in Anderson County, Jack asked to pull over for a bathroom break, where he shot James and Mary from behind, and then threw them on the side of the road. But while Mary passed away, James would somehow survive the attack, with injuries that would paralyze him for life. Jack then headed to Georgia, where he got a not-so-warm welcome from his girlfriend's family, and an even colder one from the sheriff's deputy who forced him to leave. 5 days later, Jack drove the stolen vehicle to Georgia again in yet another failed attempt to save his girlfriend. But this time, when he stopped to use a library's Wi-Fi on the way back, a deputy outside recognized it as stolen. While the plates had been switched, the VIN number confirmed it, and Jack was soon taken into custody without incident. And even though this White Knight's convinced he's some hero, it's clear he's living in a fantasy land of his own making.
They call you Jack, is that right?
Yeah, that's my nickname.
Well, tell me about Jack. What do you do? You work? You said you work somewhere?
Yeah. I've worked a few places. Currently, I'm at Walmart building bicycles.
You build bicycles?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Usually 3 to 4 days a week.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Walmart, a good place to work for?
Well, the pay's not necessarily good, but the managers are decent.
Yeah.
The work's stuff I enjoy doing, so I don't mind.
Yeah.
And it's a way to save money for college. So.
What are you planning on doing in college?
I don't know yet.
You like saving for like a 4-year degree, 2-year degree?
I haven't figured that out. Don't honestly know what I want to do with that yet. I mean, I enjoy working on bikes. I may start my own shop one day.
You're wearing a Marine shirt.
I used to want to be a Marine. I didn't qualify. So,
Yeah.
and I still wear the shirt because I have friends who are both Army and Marines.
Mm-hmm. Why didn't you qualify?
It just wasn't fit enough.
It was a medical thing that kept you out.
No. I just wasn't physically fit enough. I couldn't pass the tests.
Yeah. So, did you ever think about any of the other branches?
Not really.
Just Marines?
No,
The uniform, wasn't it?
more or less. They look good. You can't deny that.
Where do you live at? Is that your house or
It
family?
belongs to my grandma and my grandfather and my mom.
Okay.
That's what I live with.
They all live there with you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, what Walmart do you work at?
White Horse Road. The one where you get a little nervous feeling every time you walk in the sales floor because you never know who's walking around as far as customers.
Mm-hmm. Why do you say that?
Oh,
Is
just
Walmart?
the things that have happened at that Walmart with Ford incidents and whatnot. There have been fights and stuff. Customers starting things with each other and whatnot. It makes you uneasy, but you get used to it after a while.
That's Walmart. I'm sure you've probably seen the pages of people at Walmart.
It's people. People, unfortunately, don't get along. I wish they would, but they don't.
That's true. There's a lot of different types.
Yeah. And some people don't learn to control their tempers and whatnot. I mean, they don't learn how to sit like we are right now talking. They get in each other's faces. It's not worth it.
You get in the face.
It's never worth it. Nothing's worth fighting over.
Usually has a bad outcome anyway.
Yeah. Hey, usually I'm getting arrested.
Well, what about this little group, the conservative group you participate in on Facebook?
We're a Minuteman group, very peaceful. Basically, we keep up to date with what's going on as far as natural disasters, international relations. If we were ever invaded or anything like that, we're ready to be able to help out and defend. We try to be able to cooperate with the local sheriffs and stuff to secure things. Sometimes people get the wrong idea because there are, of course, extremist militias. We're not one of those.
Okay.
We're very moderate.
Kind of like a prepper, I guess.
Almost. I mean, not to that extreme.
Yeah.
I mean, for example, we always try to stay within the law. Anybody who carries weapons has a permit. Anybody who owns weapons, make sure that they're legal, etc. That's very important to us.
Do you have a weapons permit?
I don't.
No.
While Jack's militia may have strictly adhered to gun laws, his growing armory pushed well past the legal limits, because in the stolen vehicle, authorities recovered 4 firearms: a Ruger rifle, a Ruger pistol, a Bersa 380, and a Walter P22 semi-automatic pistol, fitted with laser sight and a homemade silencer. But when it comes to the vehicle Jack stole from his victim, he'll claim he was just borrowing it from a friend he didn't know he couldn't trust.
I came from a friend's house because I borrowed a car from him and stuff.
Who was that?
A guy named John. I can give you his address if you want.
Sure.
I mean, considering the ordeal with the car's registration and whatnot, I'd like to know why you didn't tell me about that.
Well, what?
About the plate not matching the car. I mean, the sheriff told me the plate didn't match the car.
Who was this John?
Well, he's an acquaintance of mine. I've known him about 2 years or so. I thought I could trust him. I thought he was a good guy.
Okay.
But I'm starting to think again about it.
When did you get the car?
The other day, what was this now?
The other day.
2 days ago.
What day is today? Tuesday?
Wednesday. Is Tuesday?
Tuesday.
Okay, yeah. So, Monday morning then. So yesterday morning, it was pretty early. I borrowed the car from him. He said that it was all okay and stuff. And I mean, I've never had a reason not to trust him before.
Yeah. Well, why would he let you borrow the car? What'd you give him?
But I didn't. I gave him some money for gas and stuff and told him I could fill the tank back up. That was it.
How did you get there?
Bicycle.
Why did you borrow the car?
Because I wanted to take the trip down here. My moped wasn't running.
You wanted to take a trip where?
To see Ryan. Jeffrey.
You wanted to go see Jeffrey?
Yeah.
2 days ago.
Yesterday morning. Technically not 2 days ago. It's yesterday morning early.
Yesterday morning, but you waited till this morning to go see Jeffrey.
Yeah.
What'd you do in the meantime?
I took a car. I went and was riding around and stuff. I saw a couple other friends and stuff.
Name us some friends that you saw.
Okay. I went down to Georgia and I saw my friend. Now, I'm not going to say about where she lives and stuff because, I mean, she's like a sister to me. But, I mean...
Or Fitzgerald County. Ben Hill County. Fitzgerald, Georgia?
Yeah.
What happened down there?
Well, unfortunately, her mom got mad at me. Told me to leave. I did.
And then you went back.
Which was a bad idea. I mean...
And all this happened yesterday?
No, I had gone down there in another car last week. It was Christmas Eve.
Another car?
Yeah.
Whose car?
Borrowed from another friend.
What friend?
I'm not going to answer that question.
Because it's the same car. I have the police reports.
Same friend.
Same car.
Mm-hmm.
I have the police reports.
I've been in contact with Ben Hill County already.
Okay.
So,
I borrowed it twice. And I didn't ask him questions I should have. I feel dumb for that. I'm going to be honest, I feel dumb. I don't like admitting when I've made a mistake.
Well, why is there nothing that says John in that car?
I don't know.
Because when you drive, you gotta have your insurance, your registration,
I know.
all that stuff. Where's all that at?
I don't know. I mean, that's the thing. I don't know what's even in the car. I only know that I had my wallet and stuff, and I had the GPS sitting there for getting around, but that's all I know.
So that's the only thing that's in that car that's yours?
Yes, sir.
Jack may not know what's in the car, but detectives most certainly do, because not only did they find Jack's illegally modified firearms, but a GPS device with evidence of his travel and 5 mobile phones, 2 of which belonged to his victims. He was essentially driving in a rolling crime scene for days, and was even stopped for speeding and let go on that first return trip home from Georgia. But there's a few other items he left behind, items tying him directly to the crime.
I'm being absolutely honest, sir. I swear, I did not put anything else in that car.
because we've done a search warrant on the car.
I understand that. And I didn't put anything else in that car. I don't know what to tell you.
Well, let me ask you this. How would your Walmart ID get in the car? In your vest?
A Walmart is using the car?
Your blue Walmart vest, your ID that says Jack, little silver tag up underneath it.
That shouldn't have been in the car.
Yeah.
That should have been at home. I always take that home when I'm done work.
A student Bible with your name in it. A ledger in the dash with your name on it.
Well, that shouldn't have been there.
That's a lot more than your wallet.
Hold on, a ledger.
A ledger.
I don't have a ledger.
If somebody's writing a ledger with your name on it. It's no book. I'm talking about no bound book with pages in it.
Your private diary,
I don't keep a diary.
the typed out stuff about going down to Fitzgerald. Who would know about going to Fitzgerald other than you?
I don't know. That's the problem.
Yeah.
I mean,
Listen,
I didn't have
listen.
stuff.
Don't misunderstand where we're coming from, okay?
I'm not.
We're not here to.
The problem is that I feel like I'm being set up for something.
No.
Not by you.
No, listen. Don't sit there and tell lies and stuff like that, okay?
I'm not.
I mean, you just said that the only thing that's yours in that car was your wallet.
My wallet and the drinks and
And we
GPS.
just named a couple of different things with your name.
But I didn't put things in there other than what I said.
But who would?
I don't know. I mean, I honestly can't figure that out.
Why didn't you cooperate with the folks down in Georgia?
What do you mean to cooperate with
The
the
officer.
Georgia?
The officer wrote in his report that you were very uncooperative.
No, I wasn't uncooperative with him.
Well, tell us what happened down there. We weren't there.
What happened was that at first he wanted to see my license, etc. Okay. Now, I hadn't committed any crime stuff, so I didn't see why he wanted to see my license or anything. And that's what I was trying to get him to explain that to me. Unfortunately, I think he didn't understand that I was trying to get an explanation. Okay. I mean, because I kept asking him, I said, well, I'm being charged with a crime or anything, have I done anything wrong and stuff? And he wouldn't answer that question. He just kept on about he wanted to see my license. And finally, I showed him my license because I wasn't going to argue with him. I mean, it wasn't worth arguing.
The traffic stop in question was a result of Jack driving 90 miles per hour in a 55 mile per hour zone, and it was luck alone that let him avoid detection. Because when the trooper tried to run the plates through dispatch, his reception was too poor along that rural stretch for him to properly hear the response, that the plates and vehicle didn't match up, so he wrote Villarreal a speeding ticket and sent him on his way. Jack later admitted he considered shooting the trooper, but decided against it only because of the dash camera.
Who else was in the car with you?
Nobody.
Nobody.
I didn't have a reason for anybody else to be in the car with me. I mean, I just had my GPS and I just went down to Fitzgerald, Georgia again. And I got there last night, and her mom got mad at me and told me to leave and stuff. And I wasn't, the mood that one was in, I left. I wasn't going to have another thing where she called the cops on me and whatnot, because, I mean, I ain't trying to create trouble. If she doesn't want me around, I'm not going to go back. I mean,
Plus, she didn't make that clear the first time.
Well, I was hoping to reason things out with her, but she didn't want to reason things out.
You ever got in trouble when you was growing up by mama or grandparents?
Oh, my mom used to always get me.
And, you know, when they caught you, you know, you was in trouble and
Yeah.
they knew more than they let on and you tried to lie your way out of it. We all did.
I ain't really trying to do that. Because my mom always knew what I did.
We all did it, kids. Okay? And I'm talking about little. You know, we all did. Okay?
Everybody's human, but I don't
Do
tell
you get the impression that we know more than you think we do?
No.
Okay, you said
I get the impression that you're trying to get me to say something that's not true.
No. I'm not trying to do that. Okay? But you sit there and you want to talk about your friend in Georgia, but we know her name, we know her address, we know her county and all that good stuff she lives in.
No, I really didn't want to involve that because that was kind of an embarrassing situation.
No, I can see that, but we know more than we let on. Okay?
Okay.
And
well, you're detectives. It's what you do.
Exactly. That's what I've been doing for the past week. Doing nothing but worried about you, that car, this whole mess. Okay?
I don't know anything beyond me in the car. And this guy that I thought was my friend, who obviously wasn't.
I need to know about the man and the woman that was in that car with you at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Man and woman.
Man and a woman that was in that car with you on Christmas Eve.
I don't know about a man
About
and a
6
woman.
o'clock in the morning.
I don't know about a man and a woman.
Despite the facts surrounding the car not backing up Jack's story, he's still determined to stick with it. But trying to jam a square peg into a round hole will only get him so far, because detectives know for a fact he got into the back seat of the vehicle with James and Mary, and all the evidence proves it. So even though he tries to come off as cool and collected, his erratic past behavior has shown he's anything but.
But you tell us you can control yourself, but you had a hard time controlling yourself in Georgia.
I kept myself under control. I kept myself civil, diplomatic. And when I realized that I wasn't getting anywhere, that I wasn't being able to reason with people, I left. Now I went back because I thought I was going to be able to reason with someone. Obviously, I was mistaken. Some people can't be reasoned with because she doesn't want to let me hang out with her and stuff, okay? I like the girl. Now, the girl's almost 18 years old, so obviously I can't do anything with her yet. Tell me wrong, okay? But I can go and hang out with her and talk with her and stuff. But the problem is her mother doesn't like that. So it's simple. I'd have to wait till she's 18 years old. I respect that. Now, I tried to go back and reason with her about it. She didn't want to.
But it's bothered you enough that you've had to leave South Carolina twice to go down there.
I went down there because she said that her stepdad was beating her and stuff, and I wanted to go find out what was actually happening.
Why not call the police? You're a law-abiding citizen. Why not call the police to go there and know about it?
I wasn't going to do anything. Except call the police if I actually found something out. But I wanted to actually go and talk with them first because I don't necessarily involve things like that if something's not going on. I wanted to find out if something was really going on or someone was just making drama. I mean,
so you're going to drive 5 hours?
Yeah.
A man that only works part-time at Walmart with no vehicle of his own,
Yeah.
with very little money,
Yeah.
but you've been having to borrow money from folks.
I sock money away at times for things, and sometimes
You asked to borrow money.
I asked to borrow money from my grandma. I've asked to borrow money from my friends, and they didn't have money. So I asked to borrow from my grandma. She gave me some money for gas.
$40.
No, she ended up giving me about 80.
That's a lot of gas in that car. That gets you to the damn beach and back.
That's irrelevant to this. I really want to stay focused on what we're talking about here. Because, I mean, we have a situation here. I'm in a pickle, and I want to know.
You are.
Yeah. I'm not going to lie, okay? I'm in a world of shit, and I want to know why. I want to know what the heck has happened.
Tell me why Jack thinks he's in a world of shit.
Well, obviously, I was in a car that had a plate that doesn't match it. That in itself is a world of shit. I mean, my goodness. That's fishy itself. I don't know. Okay? But that's a problem. It's a serious problem.
What else happened in the car?
Huh?
What else happened in the car?
Nothing else happened to the car. I drove down there after I borrowed it. I don't know what else to tell you.
Tell us what happened Christmas Eve morning.
You start with the truth.
I told you. I borrowed the car from John, and I drove it down to Fitzgerald, Georgia.
Tell me about the guns that's in that car.
Guns?
Guns. No.
No, I'm not giving you anything.
Okay, because your
Why
buddy...
was there a gun in the car?
You tell me.
Well, I don't know.
Your buddy told us about how you make silencers with your lathe and stuff like that.
How am I silencers?
You don't.
No.
So the silencer failure put guns in your car.
I don't know who did anything, okay? That's the problem.
And there's shell casings in the car from where somebody's been shooting 22s and 380.
Shell casings?
Shell casings. Where somebody has shot a 22 and a 380 in your car that you're driving. And guess what else is in the car? 3 22 guns, 2 pistols, a rifle, and some 380 bullets.
I don't know. I don't know where they came from, how they got there. I didn't put them there. That's all I know.
Okay.
Okay?
Well,
I'm sorry, but I really don't know.
yeah.
It's just that simple.
Well, you just said you picked up the car between 6 and 7 Christmas Eve morning.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm going to tell you what I know between 6 and 7 Christmas Eve morning.
Okay.
Okay, that car was going at 85 with 3 people in it. Somewhere around the 16-mile marker, 2 people got shot and drug out of the freaking car. A mile up the road, or excuse me, a couple miles up the road, somebody that looks like you that got picked out of a lineup dumped all their shit out of the trunk of that car.
What?
So let's talk about that.
I don't know. That's the problem. Okay?
Yeah, it's a big problem.
Yeah, it is, because, I mean, I'm driving around in a car now that you're telling me that someone was shot. You're telling me that there are guns in that car. Hold on a second, okay? Hold on a second.
Yeah.
You're telling me that there's all this stuff in this car, and that this car, for lack of better terms, the car is basically a crime scene at that point. That's what you're telling me. And I'm driving in this car and I don't know this?
You're a smart fellow.
Yes, I am.
Okay. Wait a minute. You can't tell me you ain't been riding in this car twice now that you said you got the car and didn't see the blood in the seat.
Blood?
Mm-hmm.
That's blood?
I saw it when I walked up there in Belton when I first got called there. You're telling me you've been in the car for 5 hours and ain't seen no blood.
I saw a stain. I didn't know it was blood. I figured it was wine or something like that. I mean, I'm not stupid, but...
Wine in the car?
People do drink and drive.
Yeah.
I don't, but people do. I don't drink. I don't know what to tell you.
So the open container of corn whiskey is not yours either.
What corn whiskey?
The corn whiskey we fixed to get your fingerprints off of. And those guns we won't get your fingerprints off of.
I don't know how my fingerprints would get on something.
It's easy.
Well, there's no such thing as a fingerprint prairie, so let's just cut that out right now.
Hold on. I'm not saying there is, okay? Okay, I'm not saying there is. I don't believe in fairies. I don't believe in coincidences, all right? I don't believe in luck. Okay, there is no such thing. Everything can be boiled down to facts and figures, rationales. I get that, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I've studied the law long enough to understand. I've studied the government long enough to understand that, okay? I used to want to be in your job. To be honest, I still do, okay? Because it's interesting work. Now, the problem is, how did my fingerprints get on something unless someone pulled them off of somewhere else to set me up or something? Now, I know that's a little out there, but the thing is, that's the only way I can explain it. I don't understand it otherwise, okay? I'm sorry, but I don't understand it.
Being the victim of a setup might not be the genius plan Jack hopes it is, But with the evidence against him overwhelming, there's simply no other option. And as he watches his hopes of a law enforcement career dwindle down the drain, the contrast between these clearly competent detectives and this incompetent killer couldn't be more clear. Because there were multiple witnesses to the guns he owned, witnesses he created himself just hours earlier.
I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be smart aleck with you, but I know.
What did he tell us about you making homemade silencers?
I don't know.
Why did you go to your buddy's house this morning at 8 o'clock and show him these 3 guns that was in your trunk?
I didn't.
With the silencers?
I didn't.
Okay, so these
Jeffrey is telling you this stuff because that's whose house I was at. Wait.
Yeah. So him, his daddy, everybody that looked out the window saw all this, saw you there. They're lying to me?
I would presume so at that point.
So I'm going to go lock them up for lying.
I don't know if you can lock them up for lying or not, but nonetheless, I didn't have the stuff. I didn't put the stuff in the car. Okay?
Why would you be showing the Ryan this morning?
I didn't.
You didn't.
So what you want me to believe is that a fingerprint fairy has placed your fingerprints on objects that you say should not be in the car.
I'm not saying
Another unknown source had something take place inside the car that we later find you operating.
Now, I'm not saying a fairy. I'm saying a person, a human being. Okay?
Someone.
But yes, that's what I'm saying.
But how would they do all that?
I don't know. Okay? I don't work for the CIA.
Why would the CIA want you?
No, that's not the point that I'm getting at. Okay, the point is that it takes someone with that skill level.
Again, why would they come after you? What are you?
I wouldn't think the CIA would. I think that a criminal might try to throw something on me if I was convenient, but the CIA wouldn't care about me. Heck.
What criminal would care about you?
I don't know.
Why would they frame you?
I don't know. But if he did it,
with this crime.
If John Richard really did something, I'm not saying he did or didn't because I don't know. But if he did, I was convenient. I don't know.
This? You came to his house unannounced.
Yes.
That morning to get the car, right?
Yes.
So how would he have time to run and get all this stuff of yours and place it in the car real quick before you left with the car?
What's to say the stuff what's to say the stuff was there Christmas Eve? What's to say he didn't put it there?
Well, we're talking about Christmas Eve.
Okay, well, Christmas Eve. I
mean, what makes you so popular that you got to be framed? That all these other people are wrong and you're right?
I don't know. I can't tell you because I don't know. Okay.
You can't tell us because you know the truth.
I know the truth, and the point
you
is
do know the truth, that it's eating away at you inside. That's why you went to John's house. Let me finish. I'm talking.
Well, I am too.
You went to John's house this morning because what happened is eating you alive inside.
Things don't
and you wanted to talk about it.
Actually do something wrong. Nothing's eating me. I don't feel bad about anything except driving with a bad license because that was a mistake. I mean, I don't know what you expect. I've told you everything. I've told you the truth. That's all I can do. And you asked me over and over, and I've told you over and over.
You're a man of facts and figures and thinking things make sense, right? You told me that earlier.
Yes.
The story you're giving don't make sense.
As Jack's story continues going nowhere, a new detective soon enters the chat, and he gets straight to the point. The search of Jack's home is nearly complete, and the results aren't backing up his story.
I've told you everything that I know. I've told you everything that's happened.
You've known Jeff for over a year.
Yes.
Why all of a sudden today did you decide to drive to his house at 8 o'clock in the morning?
Because I hadn't seen him for a while.
But a normal person, if I'm going to go over to his house at 8 o'clock in the morning, I'm going to let him know, hey, bud, I'm coming down to your house. You didn't do that with Jeff.
That's because...
You've never been there before. He was in total shock.
That's because last night I had gone over to a place, okay? And so I didn't exactly have time to get on Facebook to tell him. Now, like I said, my phone's out of service, okay?
I hate to interrupt there, boss. I'm Rob Giving. I'm a sergeant up here.
Understood.
Kind of helping them with this case.
Naturally. To be honest, I want this case dealt with because I don't
Boss, you're in trouble.
I know. I'm in a world of shit.
I don't think you do, but I'll explain in a second. Give me 1 second, because this is somebody out with your friend John. Boss, if it ain't you, it does me no good to have you. Okay?
I understand that.
This is a murder case.
I understand that. They've explained that to me.
Can I talk?
Yes, sir.
I got limited time, limited patience.
Yes,
I don't mean to be rude, but I am kind of just to the point.
Yes, sir.
You can tell me those weren't your guns. That's fine.
Okay.
My guys and the ATF are at your house right now with search
Yes,
warrant, and just found the heads of the mag lights in your room, 2 of them black, 1 of them blue. You're caught. Okay?
I don't know what to tell you, but go ahead.
Time.
It's okay.
If that crap in the car ain't yours, I have a very easy fix to prove that it's not.
Okay.
I need a sample of your DNA because you've never been in trouble. You've never been arrested. Done a little research.
Okay.
Other than being fired from Walmart and the FBI having a file on you, you've never really been in trouble with the law.
Why does the FBI have a file on me?
Because apparently the people at Traveler's Rest were scared shitless of you. And they called the Traveler's Rest PD.
Why were they scared of me?
I think you're in some kind of militia.
I don't threaten anybody. I've been nice and civil to everyone.
So, here's what I propose.
Okay.
Simple procedure. I take a couple Q-tips, just swab them inside your mouth, goes in a little envelope, gives me a DNA sample.
All right.
I send them in to compare to the clothes and the bottle that's in that bag with them silencers. And if it ain't yours, it won't be your DNA, will it?
Unless someone planted it, I don't know.
And-
okay, that's the problem. That's the problem. That's the same thing that I talked to them about with the fingerprints, okay? I can't explain why my fingerprints are there because I don't know.
Right.
I'm sorry.
I don't believe in conspiracies. I think
I
you
don't
do
either.
I think you'd like to convince me of such
No.
things, but trust me when I say I've been doing this
I don't
probably
believe,
longer than you've been able to walk.
sir.
Okay? You're caught.
Sir.
If you don't want to tell us what happened, that's entirely your choice and that's entirely your right. All right? You've studied up on the Constitution, right?
I know the Constitution, I know the law.
So I have to prove it, right? I'm not asking you for your help.
I
If you don't
understand
want to
that.
tell us what happened with this shooting, so be it.
I understand that.
If it wasn't you, though, it does me no good to have you locked up be going, look, I got the murder, because I got the wrong guy. I've still got a murderer out there.
Exactly.
So I'm going to get a sample of your DNA with your permission, so that way I can send it and compare to the clothes and the bottle and whatever else is in the car that might contain your DNA.
Well, I can give you some of my DNA, but I can't guarantee someone didn't find it. That's the problem. And I'm not, I want one thing to be clear. I'm not claiming a conspiracy, okay? I'm claiming that there's someone out there who's a criminal who knows what they're doing, and it ain't me because I'm not a criminal.
Hang with me for a second. We'll talk further in a second. One thing at a time, I get easily distracted.
I understand.
My mind goes a million miles an hour.
I imagine so with your job.
Just stay with me.
It's not exactly easy.
No, well, it is and it isn't. Sometimes it is.
While most detectives don't describe their job as easy, some suspects seem determined to make it so. And based on the piles of evidence Jack left behind, he's clearly one of them. But whether it's his militia training or just a long-delayed instinct for self-survival finally coming online, when it comes to collecting his DNA, he's about to draw the line. Not that it stops him from continuing to incriminate himself with words.
All right.
The one thing I didn't do was consent to it. I said I could. I didn't say I would. I wanted legal counsel first.
Before I do this?
Yes, sir. Just because it's procedure. Okay?
What procedure?
Getting legal counsel first. You know, there's a reason why I haven't played my Fifth Amendment yet. There's a reason why I didn't ask for a lawyer first. It's because I don't have something to hide. Okay? I'm sorry, but I honestly can't tell you anything other than what happened, and that's what I've been telling these gentlemen.
Are you wanting legal counsel before we do this?
Yes.
Are you wanting legal counsel to continue speaking?
No.
Okay, great. What's up with those plans that you drew up in that ledger about going down there and her sneaking out of the window and going to the safe house?
As I've told these gentlemen, I don't have a ledger.
It's got your name on it, kid.
Well, I didn't put it there. That's the problem, okay?
In fact, it had somebody else in your family's name on it, and you crossed it out, and then it says
Well,
Jack.
I didn't do it.
Jack.
I didn't.
And then there's names and addresses of people with rank and stuff. There's Tony and what's Mike, and meetings.
Well,
And
Mike was an Army veteran.
Yeah.
Served in Iraq. But why would I have a ledger? I don't have a ledger. That's the point. I don't keep a diary or anything like that. I don't know what to tell you.
kid, can I be frank with you?
That's what I would hope you would do.
Great. We're going to talk to all these people because you were nice enough to provide phone numbers in it, and I bet you every one of them is going to corroborate the dates and times of these little meetings that they know you. So you can tell me that it's not your ledger, but I'm going to prove to you that it is. In a couple hours, we're going to have your fingerprints because those handcuffs, those indicate that you're under arrest. So I'm going to fingerprint said ledger and prove to you that it is. Okay? Then
This can be planned. That's the problem.
Listen.
I understand what you're saying, okay? I do.
If that is the best you got, you're in trouble.
Unfortunately, that's the best I've got, which means that I've got a problem.
Prints can be planted. So there's somebody right now running around with an exact replica of your prints, putting your prints all over shit, right?
I don't know how they do it, but I know it's been done. Okay? I know people have done it before. All right?
Funny, I've not seen it yet.
You've never seen someone plant a print, or you've never heard of it anywhere.
No.
Have you never read anything by Robert?
No.
Well, then that's a problem. Okay?
Is it, who's Robert Ludlum? What is he?
Born Identity, Born Supremacy, Born Ultimatum.
I've seen the movies.
Movies are horrible, okay? The movies are ridiculous and stupid.
I know, but they're very efficient. I hate to say that. But
The books have a lot of very realistic stuff that is done.
well, so what you're saying is somewhere between Greenville, Delton, Anderson County, South Carolina, and Georgia, Fitzgerald, Georgia, there's somebody running around with Robert skills planting your prints on stuff for what purpose? Help me out.
I don't know. I'm sorry, but I don't know.
Here's why you're going to be charged with murder.
Why?
Well, probably because you did it.
I didn't do it.
But here's the issue that you got, and follow along with me, because I'm going to explain it to a damn jury, and then I'm going to see you get on the bus and go to prison.
I'm listening intently.
Okay? There is no way. Let's say you pulled up to your friend's house at 6:00 sharp. There is no way that you made it from his house up there off of Santa down to mile marker 16 and a half in 11 minutes. Now, if you had the car that morning,
Mile marker what?
that's where these people were found. If it doesn't make sense to you, that's fine. It makes plenty of sense to me. Because remember, this is conspiracies. Remember?
I understand that.
But there's a car. 2 people were shot. That car belongs to one of them. And there's blood in the car. And the same day that you went and got it, sometime between 6 and 7, the same sometime between 6 and 7 is when they end up on the side of the road, freaking shot in the head.
Well,
so if you don't have, stop, kid.
I'm sorry.
If you don't have an explanation, that's fine. You don't have to. I will explain it for you.
I want to try to understand something on it.
I want the truth out of you, and if you're not willing to give it to me, so be it. That's your choice. That's your right. But I'm going to pack my shit up, and I'm going to go about my life. I've got a lot of work ahead of me.
I understand.
Making sure that I've got the right guy.
I understand, and I'm giving you the truth, but I want to try to understand something, please. Okay?
Speak on it.
All right. You're talking about 2 people being found, shot.
Yes.
Okay. What time are you talking about?
6:11 a.m., the day that you had the car.
Well, it was after that, because I said it was going to 6 and 7. I didn't say it was at 6.
Yeah, but you said you were on your way to freaking Florida, or on the way to Georgia, right?
I was on my way to Georgia. I went down.
It doesn't matter. If you went and got the damn thing at 6:45, we already know that car is gone. You're caught. You're caught.
I did
say what you want. You're caught. How bad do you want this to hurt?
I don't want anything to hurt, but I don't want to lie either.
You shot a couple.
No.
Okay, I'm sure there's a better explanation than just you're mean, but you're caught. Believe what you want.
I've never shot anyone in my life.
Okay, I'm gonna prove to you that those are your guns. I'm gonna prove to you that those are your silencers. I'm gonna prove to you that shit in that bag is yours. I'm gonna prove to you that shell casing that I found when I tore the back seat out of today came from one of your guns. I'm going to line up everybody who's ever had any dealings with you. I'm going to show them your Facebook page. I'm going to line up your buddy today who told me that you were in there bragging and showing off these freaking talking about these guns with silencers. You're caught.
The detective's argument boils down to the barrage of evidence against Jack, including the murder weapon, multiple shell casings, and a homemade silencer, all linking him to the crime. Not only that, digital evidence proved a premeditated plan for the extraction of his Georgia girlfriend, and computer searches showed he was tracking the investigation and James's survival. He had cut the blood-stained seatbelts out of the vehicle and begun saving newspaper clippings about the murders. So while Jack will have a lot more to say, if it's just more lies, the detective isn't interested.
May I please finish?
If you're going to tell me the truth, sure. If you're going to continue to lie to me, then I'm not interested. Which is it?
I'm not going to lie to you.
Tell me what happened.
Tell
me the honest to Christ truth what happened.
I told you what happened.
I want to know how them people ended up getting shot. You're caught.
Well, I do too.
You are caught, kid.
I'm not caught. I'm under arrest. I've been arrested, but I didn't do anything.
Come morning, you're going to get read a murder warrant.
I didn't do
You're going to
anything.
get read a murder warrant and a carjacking warrant and an attempted murder warrant. And if that freaking dude dies between now and about a year, you're going to get another murder warrant.
What? What dude? You said you found 2 people shot.
Mm-hmm.
What are you even talking
Shot
about?
in the very same car that we caught you in today. And in your journal, it talks about painting the car, your 1227 agenda, paint the car, retag the car. You even had checks.
I didn't write any of that.
Again, I will prove that you
know
did.
what?
Go ahead, say it.
I'm getting worked up here and that's unprofessional. And I shouldn't be doing that.
You're what?
I'm not keeping my voice calm enough. And that's unprofessional with me. I'm sorry for that. I'm being rude. But I don't want to. You have the right to be rude because you're a cop, okay?
No,
I don't have a right to be rude to you.
Here's what you don't get, dude. I've been doing this a long time, and I know what this stuff means, and I know what certain things indicate.
I understand that.
I honestly, in my heart, feel like I'm looking at the right guy. And when I get to that point, I act on it.
I understand that, and I don't blame you for it.
If you don't have an explanation for what happened, fine.
I gave you my explanation.
And I'm going to wear you out with it. Someday you're going to regret lying to me. It's going to be when you're on a bus to a prison. Someday you're going to regret lying to me. And that's going to be right after the day when you go, Rob, wait a minute. I want to tell you the truth. I want to own up and man up. Yeah. And you know what I'm saying? No, dude.
I'm going to say one thing. And that is that even when I am in a cell in prison, if I'm in a cell in prison, I will still have a perfectly clear conscience because I didn't do anything to those people that you have mentioned.
And again, I'm not trying to take that from you.
I know you don't believe me.
I don't.
I know.
I don't, dude.
Okay? And you know what?
I don't. You know why? The conspiracy thing does not wash.
Because it doesn't make sense to you.
No, it doesn't.
Okay?
It doesn't. It really doesn't.
I'm going to tell you something. Were I in your position, I'd be saying the same damn thing you are. Mm-hmm. Okay?
You ain't Jason.
I didn't say I wasn't. I don't think I am.
You ain't got enemies in high places.
I don't think I do.
There is not somebody trying to wipe you from the earth by planting your fingerprint and planting your DNA and breaking into your house and planting silencer pieces.
I don't know what
ridiculous.
Happens, okay?
Trust me when I say a jury of my peers, because these are people who ain't going to believe the conspiracy theory either. They are going to freaking laugh at you.
And let them laugh because they're only laughing at the truth.
So, dude, I hope you do sleep with a clear conscience, because if that's your version of truth, you're done. You are caught.
Well, then I'm sorry, but
you are absolutely caught.
The only thing that I can say is that whoever did set me up, well, they succeeded. They completed their job. Mm-hmm. Whatever reason they had.
This is not a setup, dude. You need to move past that. There's going to be a day when you're going to go, damn, I really was caught. I've been doing this for about forever. I know what this crap means. Huh?
I said, I don't doubt you've been doing it forever.
I know what this means. I know what I'm looking at.
I know you've had experience.
I understand that. I know what that shit means. I know what it proves. Like I said, it doesn't do me any good to get the wrong guy. I got the right guy.
You're going to believe that. And I understand you believe that too, because I understand that any explanation I give is pretty unbelievable to y'all. I get that.
Yeah.
Okay? I get that. I can't tell you a lie, and I've told you the truth. That's all I can tell you. So I'm sorry, but that's the way it is.
Okay. I'm losing interest.
Jack's ludicrous denials have caused authorities to lose all interest in his ramblings. But after his cover story has been systematically stripped apart by no less than 3 detectives, his eventual confession will be so crazy, it has to be true.
And before I start, I want to tell you, there is no human being or group of human beings on the face of this planet that could ever still fear me. I've had a loaded gun put to my head. I've had my own gun put to my head by someone before, and it didn't put fear in me. But there is one person who I'm afraid of, and that's God. I can't stand before him in judgment day. Deny something I did. And I don't give a damn about a lawyer. Because no lawyer can make it right before God. Let's go back. Let's go back to the night before Christmas Eve. I get a message from her telling me that her stepdad is, etc. And so immediately I jumped and I told her, I asked her rather, I said, if I could steal a car and come down there right now and get you out of there and get you somewhere safe, I said, would you do it? And she said yes. I can't hold her accountable for that. She's still a minor. So I packed my gear and I put on a rain suit, got on my bike, went over to a little abandoned house that I use as a safe house.
What kind of gear would you pack?
Dry clothes, guns, and I won't lie either. Every single one of those suppressors I built by hand, no lathe. I simply know how they work, therefore I built them.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a muffler on a moped, same difference. And I will tell you that it makes full power ammo out of the pistol sound like a staple gun. Okay, no one's going to hear it. And I know that that's a federal crime, 10 years in prison, etc. I understand that. Now, oh good, he can hear us too. Now, once I got packed up and I headed out, and I locked up my bike over at the building I use as a safe house, address, Greenville, South Carolina.
That's your safe house?
That's right. It's a condemned house. I put a new lock on the door. My bicycle and bicycle trailer are there right now.
Your bicycle and your bicycle what?
Trailer.
You got a trailer for your bicycle?
Little cart for the tail behind it.
So this Chris guy, is he a real guy?
He's fine. He's a nice guy. He's a good Christian. Doesn't do anything he shouldn't. Might have smoked in the past, but that's the past.
Okay. Anyway, so you pack your gear, you get
Packed up, went over there. First thing I did, I didn't want to hurt anybody originally. I'm not that kind of guy.
I can see that.
And the first thing I did, I tried to find a car to hotwire. Because to be honest with you, I didn't want to have to hurt anyone, and frankly, I would have rather bring it back when I was done. And unfortunately, my mechanical genius isn't quite to that level. So the next thing I figured was, well, I could hitchhike and then try to commandeer the car. You know, hold him at gunpoint, tell him get out. Still didn't want to hurt him.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they were rolling along down Fletcher Street, in fact, when I came across them. Had my pack on my back, my rain suit still on, cap on my head. And I asked him if they could take me to I-85. He said, not a chance. Then he changed his mind and said, do you have some gas money? I said, how much do you want? $5. I said, okay, $5.
Who was in the car?
The man and the woman.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know their names, don't really care. But I hope he survives, to be honest with you. I hope that since that day. Let me continue though. And I got in that car, and we started going. And they were as nice as anything. The only thing that I could ever fault to the woman for was the fact she was going to try to sell her food stamp card, and that's really not that serious.
What she was to?
I don't know. She was going to try to sell it. That's all she said. She said there was like $26 on it. She was going to try to sell it. It doesn't matter. It's the past. Still not worthy of death, not execution. Not like that. And then the man offered to take me to the Georgia line. Said he had the time to do it. Said he'd do it for $25 in gas money. Reasonable enough.
So when he said this, were you already in the car?
I was in the car. We were going down I-85 at that point.
How much were you going to give him to 85?
To get to 85, $5. To get to the Georgia line, $25. And I gave him the $5. I ended up taking it back later.
Jack's new story lines up perfectly with the evidence authorities have already obtained, and what they'd suspected all along, that he got in the backseat of James Dobson and Mary Fowler's car for one reason and one reason alone, to murder them and steal the vehicle. So as he moves to the crucial moment, His dramatic movie villain act kicks up a notch, and it seems this is the full confession detectives have been waiting for.
As we were driving down the road, I got to a point where I was ready to try to commandeer the car. And you know what? I told him I had to take a leak. Asked him to pull over. Classic move. I never suspected it. You know what? In the moment, I presumed the man was armed. As a result, I didn't try to commandeer the car. But I assumed. Okay? I didn't even give him a chance to show a gun. I put one round right in the woman's head. Then I put 3 rounds right in his head. I was trying to hit the head, but I was trying to shoot too quick because I wanted to get it done. Mm-hmm. Didn't really want to shoot it. Didn't really want to do it, and I did it. And I threw him out of the damn car. And I went down that side road. I dumped all the shit out of the car. I went and changed the plate.
Where'd you get the tag from?
I don't even remember what car or what address it was. I found a car in a driveway where there wasn't too many lights on. I went over the screwdriver.
Was it near where you dumped the stuff?
Fairly close, yeah. Yeah. There should be a car, a white SUV of some kind that has that plate on it. I want the owner of that car to know I'm sorry for that too. And I want that man's family and the woman's family to know I'm sorry for what I did and that I can never fix that or repay it. Well, anyway, let me continue, please. So then I went over to the Love's station down the road on I-85, cleaned up the car a bit because it was messy. Cut the seatbelts out because I couldn't get the blood off them. That's why the seatbelt clips were stuck into the things. I put that so it wouldn't beep while I was driving. Bought some gas, a couple of road maps, continued on my way. I raced all the way down to Fitzgerald, Georgia, going about 80 to 90 miles an hour the whole way. And whenever I took a back road, just flicked down to running lights so I could use the markers on the road instead of being seen. I've never done that before. And as I was driving, I can't tell you how bad I felt for having shot someone who, frankly, not only did me no wrong, but actually did me a favor. I got down there. I pulled in to at noon, right on the minute, because I purposely timed it with the clock on my GPS. I pulled in, and first thing I did, she came out, I told her to get her stuff and get in the car because we were leaving. Mm-hmm. I thought that was okay to do because, in South Carolina, it's age 17 you can leave home. Didn't realize in Georgia it's 18. You know, her mom comes out, tells me to get out. I should have just left. Instead, I started up a whole argument with her. She calls the sheriff on me. I argued with him for a while. Tried to tell him what the law was instead of listening to him about it, which was pretty stupid. Anyway, eventually he took down, he actually pulled his taser on me because I was getting so argumentative. He finally put it away when I finally cooperated. I can't blame him for doing that. Mm-hmm. I mean, he didn't know that I wasn't going to try to pop him. He didn't know I didn't have a weapon in my hand or anything like that.
Did you think about it?
No, because he's a cop. His dash cam's right there. Would have been on record. And frankly, I already had blood on my hands. I really didn't want more.
Which one of the gun did you use?
Walter P22.
With a suppressor on it then?
With a suppressor on it. The ammunition that I used is not what's in it now. What's in it now is a Gila Super X. Okay, that's copper-plated high velocity. What I used was Winchester Match. 1,125 feet per second. Now, coming out of the pistol, it only travels at 950 feet per second. I've clocked it. Because it has to say subsonic to be quiet. I know ballistics inside and out. I've studied them since I was a kid. And then I left. And I drove straight back to that safe house. And in the process, got myself a speeding ticket for going about 90 miles an hour in 45 zone. My lead foot didn't get to me. I don't have a lead foot. I have a precise foot the same way as if I ride a moped or a motorcycle. I know exactly what I'm doing at all times. My highway patrol was nice as anything. It's a shame in Georgia they don't realize that a moped license isn't a driver's license. You mistook it. Kind of wish you'd caught me then. Would have made things a little easier. You know what? Every single thing you found in that car is mine. Okay? Whiskey bottle? Because every now and then I have a drink to help my conscience. Unfortunately, that's the price you pay for doing things that you shouldn't have never thought of doing. Anyway, the reason I packed up all those guns, by the way, you ever find that Bursa Thunder 380?
What's that?
Under the driver's seat. Wanted to look there. Now you'll look there, you'll find it. That's my personal defense weapon. I use hollow cavity bullets for a reason. Makes an impact like a 45 12-inch penetration at 10 feet. Tested on ballistic gel and meat. Anyway, so now you know there were 4 guns, not 3. Okay?
With the small arsenal he'd packed, it's obvious Jack was going down to Georgia prepared for a fight. But what was he hoping to accomplish with all of that firepower? Whatever he had to. Because regardless of what he met on the other side of his teenage internet girlfriend's door, he vowed to perform his wet extraction by any means necessary.
And I expected at that point to go ahead and just whack everybody in there and try not to think about it. You still think about it. You still don't want to do it. Mm-hmm. I'm glad I didn't do it, because then I'd have 3 more bodies on me. 2's too many.
What, you gonna whack 2?
No.
Oh.
I was trying to get her out. I was trying to rescue her.
Well, you said 3 bodies. That's what I was trying to.
Mother, stepfather, and older brother.
Okay.
The 3 adults. The 3 people who would actually be a threat to me if I tried to do an extraction. Okay? In terms of pulling somebody out, it's called a wet extraction because it's bloody. All right? Now, here's the thing. I went down there, tried to do the sneaking out thing because I really didn't want to have to shoot anybody. Her mom shows up. My guess is somebody inside the house probably figured out I was there, called her mom because she works at the detention center. Her mom came over. Her mom ran me out. You know, maybe that's a good thing. Maybe that's a good thing. Because I was already in a hell of a mess. And so I ran out. And I ran straight through to the South Carolina line between 90 and 100, lights out the whole way. On farm roads. Okay, it's a miracle I didn't have an accident. Anyway, maybe God didn't want me to have an accident because he wanted me to tell the truth. I don't know. You don't normally get someone who just simply wants to tell. But I'm done hiding. I'm done running. You can't run. You can run from man, not from God. Now, I'm not going to hell. A murderer won't be in hell. The Lord says if you confess and repent, he's faithful just to forgive. That's what I'm doing now.
Well, what made you take her out first?
She was more convenient physically. Driver's sitting here directly in front of me. Headrest is in between. Mm-hmm. I'm sitting in the left passenger seat. Passenger's here. The first thing you do is you take aim. The first thing you do is tell yourself, don't think about it, don't feel. Because you can't do it if you think, because you know it's wrong. And you take aim, perfect aim, boom. 1 in the head with her. She slumps over. Before the man can react, I screwed over quick. Boom. I missed. I hit it. And the problem was, I twitched basically. I got rushed. So I hit twice more in the neck instead of once in the head, which is what I was trying to do once I had hit him. Mm-hmm. But I never wanted to shoot him. For 2 days after that, I prayed for that man to survive. Because once I realized that I had hit him in the neck, I realized he might survive. And I kept praying. And I kept praying for forgiveness. And the thing is, the Lord can't give forgiveness if you don't tell the truth. If you lie about it, you're going to hell.
Were you going to tell Ryan about it this morning?
I wasn't going to, and I couldn't.
Because it's been eating you up inside.
It does. You kill someone who didn't try to hurt you first, and it does.
I figured that's why you were at Ryan's this morning. You needed an outlet.
Yeah.
Well, what made you shoot him rather than just take the car out and go for it?
Because I thought he might have a weapon, and I assumed, like I said.
Yeah.
And in my head for the moment, okay, here's the thing. When you get what's called a fight or flight reflex, the blood flow to your frontal lobe of your brain cuts off, which means it takes out your ability to make rational decisions about consequences in the future. Okay? That's basic psychology right there. And that's exactly what happened. Okay? Because in that moment, you don't really think about it. Okay? You don't really keep a level head necessarily if you're not used to commandeering vehicles and stuff like that. I mean, that's the first time I've ever done that.
Yeah.
And so I just said to myself, I said, you know what? I said, I can't take the risk that he's got a gun. And you know what? I wish I had just pointed the gun and told him to get out and taken that chance because he'd still be okay and she'd still be okay. And
Yeah.
I wish I'd never done any of it, frankly.
Me and you both.
Jack may be full of regrets, but each and every one of his actions that day led to predictably tragic results. So now that his confession lines up to the facts, the only thing left to do is charge him for his crimes. John Jack Villarreal was initially charged with murder, attempted murder, carjacking, and possession of a weapon during a violent crime. Facing a possible death sentence, he took a plea deal and was sentenced to life in prison. Thank you for watching today's video. Whether you're new here or have been with us for a while, check out one of the craziest cases I've ever covered right here, or one of my newest uploads right here.